plays the ball into Macaulay and working a really stretched here, and Taggert's gone flying through the middle. It's Tony Taggart and he's made it 4, and surely now that's game over for Woking. His second of the game. He's had an excellent game for the home side as well.
Welcome back to another edition of Life Matters. We've got, man, I say this all the time, man, we've got somebody I care about massively, man, but this is Mr. Taggart, Tony Taggart, brilliant footballer from the Ladbroke Grove area, had a brilliant career at non-league level, some amazing experiences playing in the FA Cup against top-notch teams like Liverpool, for starters, played at Anfield. So as usual, we're going to chew it over, just speak about what it took to become a footballer, what it took to stay a footballer, and then we're going to touch on his love, which is Arsenal Football Club. So we'll touch on that. Before we start, and I know I'm talking a bit too much, I just want to thank everybody for the comments about the Faisal episode, which was dear to my heart. I thought it was an amazing story talking about his recovery from his heart attack. Powerful, man. I don't do this enough. Please like, subscribe, share. We need to get this subscription up. As they say, it helps just for visibility. Tony Taggart, my guy. How are you?
Pleasure. All good,
man, look at him in his big coat here, man.
It's gym.
How are you? Have you been gymming?
Still gym.
Easy. How you been?
All good, mate.
Wicked. You're still playing football?
Still vets.
How old are you?
44.
44. You're playing vets now?
Yeah.
Did you have a game yesterday?
Yeah.
How'd you get on?
We drew 2-2, unfortunately. Body's feeling it.
Tired.
Disappointing result in terms of we're going for the league, but you know what? It's just good to be out there playing.
How do you feel when you're playing? Can you keep up with the young guys? Oi, I said you're going to walk past and I'm going to get you in here. Come in here. I said...
He's in.
I said I'm going to kidnap you.
This is when the ratings go up in this episode.
Oi, you're going to help the views on this, man. Yeah, oi, listen. Right, I always say, good people... Universe brings people together. This is Gary, who's a great supporter of grassroots football. I've coached his son for quite a while. I think you've met him a few times, man. Yeah, you guys have met, man. But I just wanted to big up Gary, man. Top guy.
Oh, no.
Can't do what I do every Saturday without the love of these kind of human beings, man.
Best
Top,
coach
man. You're not getting an appearance fee, so...
Mate, take care. I'm going to leave you to it.
You're gonna be on here, yeah?
Yeah.
Gary. Leo just walked past, which was lovely to see him.
Oh, did he? Say hello.
Take care.
Take it easy,
See you later, Gary.
See you, Gary.
Yes, Saturday, we're back on. Lovely human being. How does your body feel after playing?
These days, it's a little bit sore, aching, recovery time is not what it used to be when you were younger. So,
are you doing anything different now in terms of preparation to play these games?
So,
in terms of recovery afterwards, are you doing stuff differently because you're 44?
I try and do it, if I can, obviously sometimes you get home a bit sore, obviously with life it's a bit hectic, but try and do a little bit of stretching, obviously.
You're recently married as well?
Yeah, ice bath, that doesn't help. The married part.
Yeah, no, you have to wait your turn in the bath now, innit?
Yeah, exactly, with 3 kids as well.
Let's rewind a little, right? And obviously, Tags, I know you hugely well. Most of the questions I'm going to ask, I know the answers to already because you're a dear friend. I count you as a brother, not even as a friend, man. But just for the viewers, man, I think it's really interesting to rewind back and talk about how you got into elite football, and I call it elite because you started off with Brentford, am I right?
Yep.
And initially it was just playing in youth clubs and play centres and stuff?
So yeah, obviously going back from when I was a child, was always just playing in the estate, with all your friends and stuff, and then it built up from there, the passion, the love. Everywhere I went, I just had a football, and that took me to sort of, like you said, the local youth club, which for me was Harrow Club.
Harrow Club.
Yeah, so I played in teams from I think 8 up until 12s and 14s, and then from there school football, which went to county, playing for West London. District.
Yeah.
So that's when I then obviously got picked up.
Did you always know when you were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old that you wanted to be a footballer?
Yeah, I just like I said, the passion about it, going everywhere with football. Whenever I had free time, it was just football. You know what I mean?
Was that part of your family? Was your dad a footballer?
So he liked to play football. He'd like to say he was good at football, but his main sport was probably boxing. You know, so
and so did you get that encouragement from mum and dad?
Yeah, like that. Wherever I needed to go, whether I was playing a game locally, they would take me. Whether I was playing, like if I needed to go as I got older, I'd go up north to play games. They would take me if I had trials for teams.
So you had that support around you.
So my support network from them was like why I probably done so well.
How did you and when did you get spotted by Brentford? How did that come about?
So when I was playing for my school, Hammersmith, I think obviously I got selected to play for West London, which is the district, and then from playing West London, I think that's when Brentford saw me.
How old were you?
I was 15 at the time.
Right, so something I didn't know. It was a bit later.
Yeah, 14, 15, because I'd been with Brentford for 2 years before I got my YTS from 16 to 18. That was the late 90s.
When you were spotted by Brentford, you did a YTS scheme.
So, yeah.
A lot of people won't realise what YTS now because it doesn't really exist anymore. What did that entail? What was a YTS scheme?
So that obviously, like from 16 to 18, you had your first year, which is mainly like sort of the trade stuff of looking after your players. So every player had 3 pros that you would look after.
So your role as a 16-year-old was, obviously you're on your football journey, but part of the YTS was to make sure that you were working for the club as well.
Yeah. So you would do all like that. You would just sort of clean kits. You would make sure the changing rooms. You would make sure the players' boots are clean.
Well, you designated a player that you had to clean their boots.
So I had 2 players.
Who were they?
So one was the captain, Jamie Bates.
Yep.
And then the other was a player called Robert Quinn. I can remember, which they were 2 really good pros to look after because they actually kept an eye on me and looked after me. Apart
from the club obviously being responsible for you, the players that you used to clean their boots, it's quite intimate care. Did they look after you off the books, like give you a little...
So like when you're around the training ground, as much as they would test you characterly, like they'd get you to do stuff, they might play little tricks on you, they might try and hail you out, but in a way that sort of makes the player who
builds resilience,
your character. And
did they look after you money wise?
So my 2 pros at the end, like maybe I think at Christmas or at the end of the year, they both gave me like £100, but for me then,
that's big money back then, man.
Money, you know?
Do you think that modern footballers, kids, do you think, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure actually, in academies at the moment, youngsters are not cleaning pros' boots and stuff like that. Do you think that we're missing a grounding that kids are missing out on now, and it's kind of producing a different type of footballer?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think it just values what you do. It gives it a worth. Like when you know that you clean the boots, you clean the kit, it gives you a sense of pride in stuff you do. And not that the players don't now, because I feel like maybe they don't get them to do because there's a sense of like.
If I see little 9-year-olds,
well-being, and does it look good for a youngster now to be cleaning a boot? Which for us, we can tell stories about it and it
but what did it instill in you? Discipline?
Discipline, you know what I mean? A sense of worth. If you got to that stage and then you've got players looking out for you, you know what they do for you.
Kind of
builds a bit of bond. You know what I mean?
I suppose it instills good values and morals. I see young footballers nowadays, man, they turn up and they're fully tracked out.
Like,
they've got everything. They've got a little man bag, a wash bag, and they're mini footballers at 9, and I just think they get everything a bit too soon nowadays.
Like for me, like I got stories of like, say when we're at the ground and it's match day, like you'd be there about two hours before, making sure that the home changing room, away changing rooms are clean, ready for the teams to turn up. And then leading up to game days, pros will get you like maybe to go down and get them stuff if they need
run errands and that.
Run errands. I mean?
Who was the first team manager at the time?
So at the time I was there, it was like I think it was Mickey Adams. I don't know if that was when I was 16 or 17, and then it went to Ray. There was 3: Ray Lewitton, Terry Bullivant. And
these are really iconic kind of British managers and coaches in the industry, man. Massive. Roy Hodgson. And Mickey Adams.
And Ron Nodes was
was chairman.
And manager. I think,
He was Crystal Palace.
He come from Crystal Palace. We had like, we sometimes would join, like we would go to Crystal Palace's training ground because he owned it.
Where did Martin Allen come into it?
Martin Allen, for me, he came into when I left, Brentford. Obviously, I didn't get a pro at the time, which is disappointing. But you know what? You have to get on
Part of the journey.
And then
did he manage you?
I met Martin Allen later on at Barnet.
Okay.
I had him at Barnet.
Okay, so you didn't get the pro at Brentford.
Yeah. I went.
Now that's going to test your resilience.
Yeah,
Again, I've said this before, in sport and the acting industry, you get told you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And you can kind of melt and just give up, but you didn't. What did you do after being released by Brentford?
So obviously, you just like you said, you just think about it. You're like contemplating what you want to do, but obviously the love for football, you still got to go on. Like at the time, my cousin, obviously you know Riley, he was sort of advising me. He was a little bit like my agent.
So Riley was your agent?
Riley was my agent. So we obviously sat down, spoke to him about our options, and for some reason, like I don't know whether I had a phone call or somewhat. It might have been a trial. I heard a trial at Farnborough.
Yes.
So I went for a trial at Farnborough.
How old were you?
I was 18 at the time, and then had a couple of trial games, I think, and then the manager at the time, Graham Wesley, he'd just taken over the club, and he liked me. Do you know what I mean? Young, I feel he wanted a few.
So what tier of football was Farnborough?
So that at the time it was like a tier 3, I think.
So non-league?
Non-league.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bit different back then because you had the conference,
Yep.
and then it was just Rhyme and Prem underneath
Yep.
that. There was no.
Yeah, it's exploded now. There's so many.
Like the expansion leagues, like Conference South, North. So yeah, and then in the end, I sat down with him. With Riley, and then obviously we had a few conversations, and
you ended up signing with them.
For
How long were
Farnborough.
you with Farnborough?
So I was there for my first year. I was there for 3 years. My first stint.
I remember, didn't they get? Maybe I'm making this up, but didn't you guys play Arsenal at Highbury?
Yeah. So that cup run was the 4th round.
Did you get on?
No, unfortunately not.
But you were on the bench?
I was on the bench. Yeah.
How was that experience playing at Highbury?
Yeah, it was brilliant because it was the old
Highbury.
Arsenal,
Yeah,
it was
man,
the
that
old,
stadium
like,
is classic, man.
Clock end, you know. So for me, that experience and the team that they had at the time was just like unbelievable.
Did you
type of players?
Did you use that to spur you on to think, look how close I am? I'm here at Highbury. Now I can really work hard. Did that galvanise you?
Yeah, because you're young, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I was playing at the time with a lot of grown footballers, adults. So you know that you want to aspire to do that, to be that tier. But also, you know, if it doesn't, these type of moments never really come. They rarely come around.
Yeah.
So you embrace it, take it all in.
You were juggling work as well.
Yeah, so I was doing little bits around. I think at the time when I was at Farnborough, I was probably like doing sort of working on the bins and stuff. And working.
When you say working on the bins, on the cart.
Yeah.
Wicked. How old are you when you started doing that?
So I was like 18, 19.
I didn't realise you were working on the bins for that long.
So like I had a couple of little stints
Yeah.
in and around, and then I was doing like play centre work.
Waking up doing the bins, what time?
So that was like 5 o'clock.
5 a.m.
Between 5 and 6.
And still have the energy to go training later at night. Still have the energy to dedicate to your career.
Yeah, at the time, you do what is, for me, it's probably one of my strong
You're a grafter.
traits is that whatever's in front of you, you just do.
Yeah, you're a
You know what I
grafter.
mean?
You're a grafter.
And hopefully, you get your opportunity to then go into full-time football.
Staying on that thread, because the BBC, later on in your career, when you were playing for Havant, they did a big spread about you being the flying bin man. They followed you around. Football Focus followed you around. And I think that was at the same time, obviously, you guys had a wicked cup run and you ended up playing at Anfield. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
What
right
team was
there.
that?
So that was Havant Waterlooville, and again that was the 4th round. So again, going back to that FA Cup runs and why that is such a powerful cup for non-leagues is because you don't really get them opportunities. And yeah, so they did a little story on like me with the equivalent of what Steven Gerrard would be doing.
So they compared.
It was a Monday to a Friday.
The working week of Steven
Working
Gerrard
week,
and
yeah.
Tony Taggart.
So like they came and filmed me
Yeah.
doing my rounds,
Yeah.
collecting rubbish at like 5 a.m, bright lights.
Massive.
Obviously the crew that I was working with were obviously loving it because they've never experienced that before, you know, and it was something like that you rarely see, like a bin man like.
Yeah, so the BBC followed you around, and then there was a massive newspaper spread as well about the Flying Big Man coming up against
the Guardian.
Guardian. Yeah, we've got the article.
I've got all my mum. She just
You've got a
anything that
scrapbook?
goes in there. Yeah, anything that what was published or that I had in the non-league paper, scoring goals. She just got.
So was that the FA Cup run where you ran through,
got fouled,
fell over in the ball?
Havant Waterlooville are placing round 3 for the first time in their history. Tony Taggart was the hero. He would have been given a penalty here, but the ball rolled in for the game's only goal. The oldest league club knocked out by part-timers who only came together 9 years ago.
So you scored a winning goal against Notts County to get you guys to Anfield.
Yeah, that's my
your claim to fame.
My claim to fame.
He fell over, right, and the ball hit his leg and he went in. Do you know what? I was so proud of Tags, man, to make. I'm a huge Liverpool fan, obviously. You guys probably have spotted me wearing shirts all the time. But for my dear friend to be playing at Anfield, man, I remember I was in a barber shop getting a trim and I was saying to my barber, it's my guy, man, he's playing at Anfield. And yeah, you pick up the story because that was not just an iconic match, but in terms of you guys achieving to play at Anfield, but the match itself was like, wow.
For me, it was like just taking in the whole occasion, and when you're that, the difference between the two clubs, like I think it was like God knows 80, 100 places, I don't know. Well,
they had Steven Gerrard on the bench, they had Fernando Torres in the bench, they had Peter Crouch up front,
yeah, so
Mascherano.
Yeah,
like we're talking
to see
about
these type of players,
that's crazy.
And the way that it unfolded, like it was a mistake from, I think, Steve Finnan led to us leading 1-0, and like you couldn't write it.
But you started on the bench,
yeah,
and then you came on.
I came on
early
with like 35 minutes,
yeah,
because obviously our left back at the time got injured. He was pretty much, he probably was, if he's honest, would tell you he's probably injured before, but no one's going to say
you want to play at Anfield, man.
That game. But came on early.
Warner will play no further part. Well, in his place, on comes Tony Taggart. Well, the van driver makes way, the bin man comes on.
You know, played left back.
You played well.
Yeah,
you played well.
Marking Pennant.
Fast, sharp.
They had like John Arne Rees.
Yeah. Proper, man. Proper.
Ben Ayoun, who scored a hat-trick on the day.
Yeah. So, but you guys took the lead. It was a ding-dong game. Liverpool came back, ended up winning the game. Iconic moment for Havant. The exposure they got, the finances they got, and then the experience you guys took must have been, I'm not going to get epic and say life-changing, but a great experience.
Yeah, because like when you're a non-league player and you probably come to terms with you're never going to get the FA Cup and all the FA trophies and stuff. When you get so far in them, it's like no one can take that away from you, because you'd have players in the Championship or League One that
never get to them
moments. You know what I mean? So, and we played like 7 games to get there, because you would come in the preliminary rounds, and then you have to go like obviously round 1, round 2, round 3, and the whole cup run was like
when that game finished, you guys had made an arrangement not to swap shirts on the pitch. Am I right?
So beforehand, because obviously I'd been in a cup run before with Arsenal, so I obviously, being young, I didn't know a trick.
Yeah.
So before the game, if I saw Henri or Bergkamp at the time when
you'd
I
be
was
like,
playing them, I'd be like, "Can I have your shirt?" Before the game's even started, and so in this game, because I was a little bit older and we had other players, everyone had said, right, instead of going round doing all of that thing, what we'll do is gather all the shirts in and put them into a black bag, and then everyone would come up one by one and pick out.
So was management in charge of that? Did management say?
Manager, senior players at the time, captain.
So they said, nobody swap shirts.
Yeah.
We're going to get the Liverpool shirts put in a black bin liner, and then we can just pull them out.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Did that happen? No way. It was like
free for all.
It was like a January sale after the game. Like everyone was running off, getting shirts up. Some people I see had like a Mascherano.
Who got Gerrard?
Gerrard was Alfie Potter at the time, the one who scored
the
first goal.
Yeah.
You know, so he got his, and then I think like there was a couple of discussions around, I'm not giving it up.
Yeah, but I know you well enough, right? I know you well enough.
Yeah.
You love a rule book. So when your gaffer told you, don't get the shirts, you would stick to the rules.
Yeah, like,
and then you saw everybody else
I
go.
was like shaking hands, like, thank you. Obviously, like, it was a great game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then when I started seeing players move, I was like, what?
What did you do?
At the time, I just wanted to get someone's shirt, you know, because obviously we'd have players that weren't in the squad that were trying to get shirts.
Who did you end up with?
I got Lucas Leilos.
Leva.
Lucas Leva.
He scored a screamer.
Screamer in the game
30
to
yard.
make it 2-2.
Yeah.
Which sort of sent us in at half time, like
A downer.
Downer, yeah. But
So you got Lucas's shirt signed?
Signs, yeah. I got it signed by him. I gave it.
Wicked.
Which I gave it to my
Brother, who's a
because
big
he's
Liverpool fan as well. Wrapping up that, I know that Rafa Benitez, world famous manager, he came into your changing room and he spoke to you guys.
Yeah, he was like, obviously, like, just thanked us for the game, how close it was even to score 2 goals, and yeah, he just came in and said a few words and all that, how great it was to see us fighting, pushing them, you know. And
you guys were receptive to that.
Yeah, it was brilliant,
Nice.
you know, to see managers like that take up, like, they don't have to, you know, like, to come in after and give us a few words was a great experience.
It's a great experience, and I'll tell you what, man, it's an amazing achievement on your part. I think sometimes, because I know you so well, man, I take my hat off to you, Tags, man, to get to play at Anfield, to play at that elite level, to hear the crowd singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" and be on that pitch, man. I get goosebumps when I hear it on TV. It must have been amazing on the pitch.
Like, it was amazing, and like to have the little moments as well, because I actually got a little bit of footage of when I later on in the game. Obviously, the game had been gone, and I had a one-on-one with Skirtle. And me, that's the areas of the pitches I wanted to be. So I managed to get one-on-one. I give him
the chop suey.
Yeah, the chop suey. Little drop of the shoulder onto my left, whipped it, and it was only for someone to get a slight header.
Yeah.
But it might have ended up in a goal because it was a decent cross.
And maybe he has atoned for a couple of first half errors now. Here's Taggart though. It's not a bad ball in. Here's Potter on the far side, but Pennant, importantly, was there.
Yeah, memories for life, man. Memories for life. And memories that we all kind of shared as well, man. So, yeah, like I said, man, big well done on that front there. Was Sutton before that or after?
Sutton was after, I think. Sutton was after that.
Yeah, because you, again, playing for Sutton, you were on a televised game.
Yeah.
Against who?
I don't know if it was like someone like a Nottingham Forest.
I think it was Forest, because again, I think I've said this to you before, Tags. You were on, it was a match on TV, and my kids were both very, very young, and they obviously know you as well. So I put it on, and you were sat on the bench, and Suf, my sons, sat next to me. And I put it on and didn't say a word to them. And then Suf piped up, he was like, Dad, there's Tony. Yeah. And I said, yeah, man, he's playing. And you got on there?
Yeah, I think I got on. I got a few minutes. So like I said, we said at the beginning, the FA Cup, like just so many good games, like, because when you play for sort of a conference team, or like, you don't have to go through that many games. So when you do get to the round 1, round 2, I remember, I think again, I don't know if I was at Eastleigh or Havant. We played Millwall in the first round, and it had to be because of obviously Millwall.
Was it at Millwall?
Fans, it would because of security and stuff. It got moved to a Portsmouth's ground. Because obviously it's a bigger ground, you can sort of cater for the Millwall fans, and they thought there might be a little bit of trouble because you know what Millwall's fans.
So the FA Cup is really important in terms of giving experience to lower league players, man.
And yeah, like it's been a great competition and something to look back.
Yeah, no, massively, man. Talk to me about Martin Allen.
Martin Mad Dog
Allen. Now, obviously, as a football fan, I hear stories that he was mental. He was your manager at Barnet.
Yeah, for a year.
And he was quite harsh with the players at times.
Yeah, obviously, you know, there's stories to back him up, and I think he.
But you haven't got a bad word to say about him.
No. I mean, listen, I loved playing under them. I feel like if you was to play under them, or you was to see them outside of football, you would understand who they are.
Give me an example of some of the, I would call, unorthodox kind of training. Didn't he get you guys to do like sit-ups in the shower with the water pouring on you.
So sometimes, like, if the training, obviously outside, say our training facilities, if it's raining, we'd go in and we'd do circuits, we'd do head tennis.
But
I remember one circuit, we would, in our changing room, and we had 3 stations under each shower was a different station. So like you said, one would be sit-ups.
So sit-ups in the shower?
Might, be like a plank, and then some...
In the shower?
Like in the shower.
What was his thought process? Like,
just feel
be
like,
uncomfortable?
Yeah, uncomfortable, like...
Get used to the
throw
rain?
you off, like, doing a normal sit-up, sometimes you could just take it easy. But when you're in a shower, I feel like it's to push your character, like you said, not give up.
He was aggressive in how he used to...
Yeah, like...
Did he kick stuff around and that?
Yeah, so like, I remember one game, we obviously were underperformed. I think we lost, and you'd come in and there was like a table in the middle, and you'd always have a pot of tea in there. And I remember him coming in once and just launching the table. And then what happened with that is that later on, every game, we had to put up a towel. Like now, it was like a running thing that you'd have to put a towel over your clothes.
So when he comes to kick the tea...
When he comes to kick the tea...
So
like,
that you lot knew what
clothes.
kind of reaction he was going to do.
Yeah, like... And I think as well, that's what makes them, these type of managers, who they are. And like, he was a player as well. And there's stories and all that. He's always been like that passionate, you know what I mean?
He used to physically grab you lot though.
I feel like he would grab a few. Like I suppose he would know who he can do it with.
Were you ever on the receiving end or something like that?
No, not like physically, but I always remember one game, right? We were playing Margate away. I think we were going for the league at the time, and we were winning 1-0. And there was like a couple of minutes left, and he was like making a tactical substitution to kill time. So I was sitting on the bench at the time. I was like, he's gone, turned around and said, is anyone ready? So I was like, I'm ready. Yeah. So I had my jumper on, shirt there, and I had a warm-up t-shirt underneath. So I've like taken it off, and I've gone up to the line, and I've gone, I'm ready. And he's looked at me, and I've taken my shirt off, unravelled it in with my jumper. So
okay.
I'm standing there with a fig. I've turned round to get my shirt because I realised.
So you're not ready then?
I'm not ready. He's going, you effing, come on, you're going to lose us this game. And then obviously I'm getting to the boys to give me my shirt, and they're just cracking up, laughing. And
but he didn't get physical?
No, because obviously we won the game, and after he stood up and he was like, I'm so glad I fucking love you, Tony.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
so,
we won the game.
Bringing it away from me asking if he's aggressive in that, again, does that build resilience, and does that... Like nowadays, managers have to be really careful how they speak to youngsters. HR departments will jump all over. Managers couldn't get away with grabbing somebody. There's incidences up and down the country of people holding managers accountable nowadays. Do you look back and think that was out of order, what I had to deal with?
Not really, no. Like, to obviously...
Don't worry, Martin, he's not going to watch this and come for you. We're all right, man.
No, I for me, I think it's... you're used to that. I feel like maybe, like, culturally at the time, that was what was...
The done thing.
The done thing. Like, we had a lot of managers who had unique ways, even at the highest level, you know. So, and I think they're just, like... what they are installed in them, I just feel like they just let that out, and that's what.
Would you? Okay, so let me ask it in a different way. You got a son. When he was younger, at 18, would you want him to have gone through what you went through?
I feel like I'd want him to experience both sides of it, because obviously I look at football now, and I feel like maybe I might have done a little bit better. I might have gone on a little bit further if I had a little bit of like the way that managers and the coaching is now. But also I know how it impacted me being tough and not having it easy. Do you know what I mean? Because you can get into a situation where you're just thinking it's comfortable when you're not.
Well, and
if you are sitting comfortable, you're not being told about it because you're worried about mental health. Where I know that if you wasn't doing it, back then, when I was younger, you would be told about it.
You'd be held accountable.
Run, or you'll be like, you've got to go and train with the 18s or whatever. You know what I mean?
But there were sanctions, almost punishments.
Yeah, and it builds up you know what I mean, a strength and a resilience and
again, do you think that the kids are missing some of that?
Yeah. I think we both got children ourselves, you know, and I don't think there's any wrong in having a little bit of that tough love, as we say.
So you're working for Queen's Park Rangers at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you use any of the experiences that you've had through all your managers that you've had in your coaching?
Yeah, so I'm quite, but you know me because we coach together. I'm quite passionate, and I feel like any player that comes across me, I try and coach like that. You know what I mean? Like passionate about something. If they're not working hard enough, I'd tell them. You know, because there is a sense of now coaching. You can't be harsh with the kids no more, man. You can't say, right, you know what, your team, that's not good enough. Right, 10 press ups or run. Yeah. To the parents, it seems a bit harsh. Although there are parents who do like things like that, it's just not renowned now. But
I think you've got to be a bit more sophisticated nowadays.
But I still like to coach the way that I feel like I would, and I hope the people that are working with me understand that, because they need that. Children need someone to be right. That's not good enough.
Yeah, we're losing that old school mentality, man. We're losing it.
Work hard, run. Do you know what I mean? Put the effort in, and you'll get it out.
I think that kids nowadays, I don't want to use the word like snowflakes, but yeah, I feel that, like you said, man, there needs to be a little bit more of a balance. You can still be a little bit harsh. Being honest is important, man. Being honest is important.
It's where you come from, isn't it? You know, it's all you. It's like you said. It's what you know. It's what sometimes you need to do to get out of sometimes what the things you're doing, where you live. You know what I mean? To go on to be successful.
If you were talking to a young boy or girl now that wanted to become a footballer, what 3 qualities do you think that they should have or to aspire to have to help them in their journey?
Be determined, you know, like, like the work ethic you put in, do you know what I mean? So that's one.
What, determination?
Determination. I say the second one, which is probably more important, is like passionate. Just be passionate about what you're doing, you know. I obviously say it with Lee, like my son, and I say, like, you've got to want to do it. I can't force you, you know, to do it. I can't say let's go for a run, or I can't take you here. You've got to want to come to me.
It's got to come from within.
You know what I mean? And so passion.
So determination, passion,
and I just think like maybe enjoyment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like another one is enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know. So
it goes by so quick.
It does, and like. Yeah, so for me, them probably things: determination, passion, and the enjoyment part.
Well, it's clear that you've been passionate, determined, and you've enjoyed your football so much so that you're still playing vets now. Did you make a living out of your football journey?
So some teams where I was, in terms of like what contracts were paying, you know, it was good money. Yeah. You know, so you could get by. Obviously, it's not hundreds of thousands. It's not that type of thing. But for me, I just took it as like I can get what I can. But the main thing, what I was doing,
was the passion on playing football, man. Yeah.
Because like I had to move out and live away from home for a couple of teams. You know, you don't do that unless you're trying to chase your dream. You're trying to fulfill your dreams. You know?
But that gave you the discipline and the kind of need to balance your football with other careers. So like we touched on it earlier, Binman, you worked in the education sector. You worked alongside me at different schools and so on. How hard was it to balance that? Because you'd come to work certain days and you couldn't walk because of what you were dealing with.
It's just challenging, you know. But like you said, you deal with it. You try and work around it. You get it done. Like you do your little bits in between. You know, like we said, the ice baths, the stretching. You know, and just that mindset of like, this is how it is. So got to do it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And again, the quality, I think, from your managers have instilled in you a discipline. Just to crack on, just to graft. One memory, right, Tags? You've had, like I said, man, a career that I'm very proud of you without patronising you. I wish I did half the things that you did. And I use you as a tool when I'm coaching some of the youngsters. I say, there's a perfect example of somebody that sacrificed, worked hard, had passion, was determined. Your favourite memory from your career?
Be the Liverpool memory.
Anfield one. I'm sure Taggert's
he's getting back to his
I'm
team.
sure Taggert's a secret Liverpool fan. That's what it is.
It's Mo Salah, man. You know,
So would that moment there be like,
I feel like that cup run, you know, like if you could have it all over again and do that, like for me as well, like you said, I feel like that's why it's probably so big, is because like how Liverpool are as a team, how passionate they are,
it's
like,
a worldwide,
the memories that they have. Although I'm obviously I have to admit I'm a Chelsea fan, you know, but it's, you know, when you look at teams to play,
that would be the iconic
teams,
moment.
Liverpool, United, you know what I mean, will probably be the two biggest teams you want to get in there.
It's my one would be playing at Westway or something like that. So for him, he can pick playing at Anfield as his favourite memory, man. And it's a perfect spot to kind of wrap up, man. Tags, it goes without saying, man, we're very proud of what you've achieved. And I do use it as an example for youngsters. You're inspirational. A lot of youngsters, when they find out about your story, I tell them, actually, Tagert tells them one time.
Google me.
We played Sunday football, and there was a guy giving Tony a lot of jib, and I swear I heard Tony say, "Yo, Google me," and that we use.
I don't know why I'd say that.
No, it's good, man.
Big-headed.
No, it's not big-headed, man. Do you know what, Tag? Sometimes people give it and they can't take it. Yeah. So when you done a little bit of magic and then you told him, "Oi, Google me," man, I laugh just thinking about it. We're proud of you. An immense career. The fact that you juggled it with working in education and the rest of it, like we've kind of chewed over, makes you a great role model for our community. And that's what Life Matters is all about, man. Again, I always say it, we bring it back down to grassroots, man, and to inspire the children. And I'm lucky because somebody that does inspire the children is a dear friend of mine. And we champion you all the time, man. So Tag's my bro. Always, man. Always. Tag, man. Arsenal fans, if you bowl the league, Tags is going to make a podcast just about Arsenal. So do not bowl this league, because man like Mayfield, he'll come for you. Like, share, subscribe, do what you do. I want to say a huge thank you for all the support. Tony Taggart, big Taggart. Love him.
Is that all right? Fucking stiff.